girl Devette from Just Chilling with Beyond a Vision. Well, today we're on our second lesson. Yes, we're on the second last lesson. We are now talking about pressure canning. The first one was about water bath canning. Now we've moved over to pressure canning. With that being said, let's go. Let's get this started, okay? Just want to let you know, thank you for being a part of the Just Chilling with Beyond a Vision videos. And thank you for giving me an opportunity to have this class with you. And first, before I even get started, I want to tell the young fella that sent the Cash App, thank you so very much. It was well appreciated. You know who you are, and you know how much I appreciate you. Well, to get going with this class, today I will not be putting the MSU extension on my videos. I talked to them today because I heard some information yesterday before I was going to church about the possibility of canceling some of the extension stuff. I'm not going to say they is, I'm not going to say they ain't, it is, it ain't, because I'm not quite for sure, but because I haven't found that out, and if I don't find that out by the time I'm finished with this video, then I'm going to give you 2 reference points, and those are the canon books that we are blessed to have. Okay, if you hear some noise in the background, forgive me, but I'm outside at my botanical room and it is pretty hot today, so we're going accordingly. So, with that being said, I'm going to put the books up here and the reference books. I put them in the first video, but I just want to make sure they're on every page of every video. Okay. So, to let you know a little bit about pressure canning. Pressure canning is a lot different than water bath canning, which what we did on the last class. With this is just think you're dealing with over 240 degrees inside of a pot, if not more. But I do know at any given time it is at 240. Now, we're dealing with a pot that has items cooked on the inside. I'm going to use this as an example. I cooked some beans. No, it wasn't actually beans. I cooked some baked beans. Now, if anybody know me how I cook baked beans, I believe in putting bacon, cooked bacon, putting bacon, hamburger, and sausages, along with bell peppers and onions and other seasonings inside of my baked beans. I don't do baked beans like most people will. Okay, this is baked beans. No, it has to be from scratch. If I'm cooking them. If I'm cooking them and I'm cooking them for somebody, they have to be from scratch. But in any case, to talk about these baked beans, I put white beans in a jar, wash them, and I soaked them overnight, then washed them, and then got them ready for my food prep to go inside the jars. Okay, so now just take this. If you can something in a 32-ounce container, a quart-sized jar, you can it for 90 minutes. If you can something in a pint jar or below, it has to go for 75 minutes. 70 or 75. I'll put that number on here when I get the exact minutes. So in any case, those beans, when you open them up, they're so succulent. They're so good. They're delicious. They're nice and soft. Why? Because all that pressure that's built up in that pressure canner is what we use to cook the food that's on the inside. So that's why a lot of things I don't like fully cook before it's time, because I know that the pressure canner is gonna cook. So in any case, we we prep our pressure canner, and there are a few. Now I'm only talking about mine, which is a Presto 23-quart pressure canner. One of the first things I do from the beginning is I check the lid, and you're going to see it on my next video. I'm just telling you about it now. I'm going to check the lid. I'm going to check the little spout that'll pop out. It's an emergency spout in case the pot gets too hot or something. Also, I check my gauge. I check all that just to make sure everything, and check my rim. Make sure I can see through the lid where that hole is, that it's not blocked, so steam can, come out as necessary. So, with that being said, we prep the pressure canner. Okay. Well, my pressure canner says up to 3 inches of water in the bottom of it. Well, I have something where I marked it off for 3 inches. So when I put it, I make sure that I'm at 3 inches. But as a whole, I usually use up to like 3 jars, 3 32-ounce jars down at the bottom to make sure that I'm at that level that's necessary. Okay, so then if you're going to hot pack something, then you want to make sure that your canner it doesn't have to be bubbling. It shouldn't be roaring bubbling. We're not talking about Jonah today. It doesn't have to be roaring bubbling, but it does need to have some heat to it. So you want to have it like at a simmer. Okay, so your jars. You want your jars to be, if you're going to do hot packing, you want to make sure your jars are hot. Okay? The food that goes in it is mostly hot. And you want to make sure that you have your jars clean, your rims sit out. You want to make sure everything is prepped to sit out. Your jars, your rims, all the things that you use, you want to make sure everything is clean. As I told you on the first video, everything must be clean. And you take time and you make sure it's done. And you take time, make sure that's done. Then you come around here and make sure all your food is prepped in your different containers or whatever. Told you about the jars being clean, your food, whatever you're going to use. Make sure you're trying to try and trusted recipe for your meals. These books up here somewhere, they will tell you if it's a tried and true recipe. You want to make sure that you have a good recipe. Okay. Now, making sure that you put everything in there according to the recipe. And we're going to use the example right now just out of a word of mouth. I'm not taking it. That we make sure that we that we have everything, and we fill our jars according to what it is. But this, like I said, this is a recipe that we're going to say, for instance. Let's just say we're taking some beef. beef roast. We're cutting it up in chunks, 1-inch chunks, and we're putting it, making sure that, now I'm doing hot pack, so I'll take it and put it inside the oven and let it cook for a while so it can like cook through a little bit, and because I want that brownness on there, and then take it out when it's getting close to the time to cook. You're going to take it and you're going to put it down in your jar. I usually use 32-ounce jars, so you take it and you put it up to like put like a pound of it in there, and then so that's like half of the jar. Then you're going to put whatever else you're going to put in there. Like me, I would put bell peppers, onions, mushrooms, celery inside of it, my seasonings, and I don't do potatoes inside of it as a whole, because I want to be able to come back to that later and use it for whatever I want to use it for. If I want to put over some rice, fine. If I want to put over some potatoes, fine. If I want to use it for I don't know, whatever I want to use it for, I can. If I want to take that and chop it up real good and use it in some fajitas or some pita bread, make pita bread sandwiches out of it, whatever I want to use it for, I can. I don't put necessary seasons in there because I never know what I want it to end up being. Okay, unless I'm canning some, especially for a certain recipe. But we're just using that as an example. Okay, then you turn around here. You should have you some chicken broth on the stove and just heat it up. So use the recipe for it. So you just have it. You take it and you put it. You make sure your lid. You take the bubbler. Again, I use a chopstick that I done boiled and put inside of a plastic thing. So all I do is get one out of there, and I like to use those for the bubblers. Okay, so I debubble it, bubbles come up to the side. If I need to put some more liquid inside, a lot of times I do, I just put it in there. Again, like I said, I have my broth on the stove. Now, if you don't have broth, then you can use hot water. Either way, it's going to make its own broth while it's in there. So you can either use your broth or you can let it make its own broth. Okay, so then you put the lids on. Fingertip tight, remember? Just fingertip tight, not tight because you don't want it to buckle, you don't want to lose your seal. Okay, so as I was saying, I do bubble with a chopstick and push down the sides. If I need a little bit more fluid, I put it in there. Water, broth, whatever, vegetable broth, if it's beef broth, whatever, chicken broth, whatever. I just don't take chicken broth. No, I take chicken broth and put with beef, but I won't put beef with chicken. Yeah, that's what it is. So, yes, and I wipe the rims and everything, and those are the things we do. And we make sure we put them, put everything in there, let it can. If it's a 32-ounce jar, we let it stay in there for, if it's a 32-ounce jar, we leave it in there for 90 minutes. If it's a 16-ounce jar, we do it for 75 minutes, I believe. If it's 70 or 75, but I'll let you know for sure. I'll put a note up here for you. Okay, so then we prepare. As again, like I was saying, we take time to make sure that the jars are in the right area. Now, if you look at one of these two books, it'll tell you, or if you have, when you buy your canner, you can look at the canner, and the canner will tell you where let you know if you stay here, if you're between 600 to 1,000, then I think you're between 10 and 11, and 1,000 to 1,200 or whatever. It'll give you the information you need in order to know on what level you can on. On top of that, once it can, I like to take a camera and put it in the kitchen, and watch my canner as it goes, to make sure that it's not going above or beyond where it's supposed to go. Now, as I was told in the latter years, they have started securing the canners more than they used to be. So what am I saying? So now the canners will, they have a little black knob on top of them that is for safety reasons, that can um, that can keep from having a catastrophic situation. Yes, catastrophic situation. So, but I put my camera on it so I can watch it. I keep mine between 10 and 11. So I have that part marked on my gauge so I can, monitor and make sure. I mean, as a whole, I'm always right there by it. I'm in the next room where I can turn it around and I can see where the numbers is. But if I have to run upstairs for something real quick, I'm not running. But if I have to go upstairs for something, and which I very seldom do, I be intentional about not doing that because of the simple fact that I don't want any kind of situations taking place. But yeah, I will have the camera on there so I can look at it on my phone. Okay, so once let's just say we done hit the 90 point or 90 minute point, we hit the 75 minute point. Okay, let's just say, okay, we're finished. We're finished. So now it's time to turn off the pot. We turn off the pot and we just sit there doing whatever we got to do until that pot. Now with that being said, if you need to go upstairs and stay for a few minutes, you can. Walk like I walk, slowly up the stairs. Okay, so by the time the gauge hits 0, the latch on the top of the canner goes down. Then you let it sit for 5 more minutes. Then you in turn take the gauge off. Okay, sometimes you might hear a little spurt of the last steam coming out of it. Sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. But in any case, you still want to let that sit there for a second, 5 minutes. Okay, so what we do next, pay close attention. When we closed the canner up, there was an arrow here and an arrow here, and both of the arrows had to end up together before you were able to push it a little bit and lock it. Okay, that was that part. But now it's time to open the canner. So we take it and push it back some, push it back, make sure both arrows are lined up, and we open the canner just a little bit and let it crack. And that's if you choose to or not. But I usually open it, let it crack a little bit. Okay, 5 minutes. Okay, so now it is time to actually take the canner top off. You hold the canner. Now, this side over here is towards me. This side is towards you. Okay? So when I pull it up, I lift up on this side, not towards me, on this side, and I lift up. And when I lift up, steam gonna come out. Now, when that steam comes out, I tell you, you don't want that steam to come towards you because that is not a good feeling. I've never had it, but I wouldn't even want it for you or for me. So, get that, let that open up. Let's get it about 10 minutes, let it sit, let some of the steam come out. But it's still going to be hot, I promise you. It's going to be hot. So after the 10 minutes, we got the jar grabbers. Remember the jar grabbers I showed you? You got the jar grabbers. And I'll show you them jar grabbers again tomorrow. On the next video, I should say. And you grab the jar. You want to have something in your hand up under the jar. And you, when you get the jar up enough, put something up under. You grab a jar and you sit it on a mat. Now, when I say a mat, a towel, whatever, but you don't want to sit it on anything cold. Now, you want a combustible combustion? Put it on something cold. You'll find out. So you better listen. That's one of the notes you better take. So you take it out, and when you take it out, you sit it on the towel or whatever, and you just sit them on, take them all out and sit them there nice and neatly. Now I'm gonna tell you what's gonna be beautiful when you do it. If you look at the jars and you see the bubbling going on inside of them, that lets you know they still cooking, they still going. That's a blessing. And just think. Now, oh, yes. When you take those jars out and you're holding that thing and you got this up, don't turn the jars to the side. Oh, in the name of Jesus, don't turn them to the side. Keep them straight up, lift straight up, take them straight, put them down. Don't do no kind of sideways anything. Because I'm going to tell you, if it's not sealed, and I just did this not long ago, I had, with the baked beans I made some sauce. The sauce that goes in my baked beans. Because I told you I made my baked beans from scratch, from beans. So I had made 2 quarts of sauce. Or really I made 3 quarts. But 1 quart went kind of ziggy-mazoo. Because I got it was some water on top. And I just tried to the side a little bit. And when I put it there, it didn't seal. Because liquid came up from the jar and it went to the side and it unsealed the jar. So it wouldn't seal. Okay, I thought about that. When I seen it, I said, oh, this jar is not going to seal. I waited. It didn't seal. I didn't worry about it. I had something to do with it. I make up that sauce because I have some vegetarians in the family. And we're going to cook some baked beans. They deserve the right to be able to have baked beans too. But I'll have to go to the store and buy vegetarian beans. I know what's in these vegetarian beans because this is my sauce. So, yeah. So, in any case, yeah. So, if you take it to the side, lean it, anything like, I am a teapot. If you do any of that stuff, you're going to be a teapot because your tea coming out and your jar is not going to seal. So you have to find something to use that for. And I did. Yep, I found something to use it for. But in any case, just make sure you take time out. You sit it there, give it 12 to 24 hours. You take the lids off, unscrew them, check your... Now this is what I do. Grab the top of the lids like this. You don't this much off the thing. Just grab it and see if it's sealed. If it's sealed, okay, fine. Then you get ready so you can wash them and put them, label and put them up. But if you didn't, they did use the jars real fast. So in 24 to 48 hours, the jar should be used. Put it in the refrigerator. Do whatever you're gonna do with it. And you pay attention to your recipes. Don't just do what you want to do. Because that could be deadly for you if you just try to do it your way and not trying to do it the right way. That's why I don't know about the Michigan Extension program or whatever. But if you use your books and you use the book to come with your canner. And oh yeah, another thing. And if you get a canner and it didn't, if you go get a canner like at the thrift store or something, you can take that canner and you can use it for you can take that canner and you can use it for things like regular canning, but you can also look it up and see what kind it is. Usually up under the bottom of it is something on the bottom and show you what kind of canner you got. And you look that up and you get the information from it. And then you can get, look on Google your friend when it want to be. Just don't let it be your doctor, but it can be your friend for other things. and you can turn around here and use and find out and get the instructions, the manual for it. And they have manuals online for almost everything you get. If you buy something, there's always most likely a manual for it online, and you get the manual for it, and you can use it. So I just thank God for this video. Again, I want to thank the young fellow. You know who you are. And this, I guess you say, well, I'm studying thanking him. I'm thanking him because there was a note that was sent with it, or his package. And it's going to be very, 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 let's put it like this. It's going to be a lucrative investment going further. A very lucrative relationship investment going forward. And sometimes when you can get something like that going, you can't complain. You know, I did it. It went a little further than that. I put it everywhere, because I was just trying to get this information. You know, like Noah tried to tell the people, they didn't listen. So I wanted to get this out here to the people, because you can't be running up on nobody else's house talk about, oh, well, they do this and they do that, and no, you can't do that. Especially people out here, so much information is online. And I'm not the only person got these little class things out there. Other people doing it too. Mine might not be as professional as theirs, but nevertheless, it's still out here. It's trying to help people learn how to do food preservation. Yep, trying to help people learn how to do food preservation so that they can, because food is going up, food is not as plentiful as it was, and you might want something, so you'll have something for later. I don't have that much, but what I have, you know, I just use mine. My most important thing about having it is to the point where if I don't feel like cooking, if my husband don't feel like cooking, we just get us a jar and eat it. Yeah, a couple weeks ago we had a situation where our shelf broke and we lost a lot of stuff, but nevertheless, I let me know how to set things up the next time, and don't try to put everything, you know, pay close attention. I'll laugh because it's kind of funny. Don't try to use a four-legged table with only 3 legs. God bless you. I love you. Take care and have a good one. And I love you. And again, this is the Beth from Just Chilling with Beyond a Vision. Please, don't look through the keyhole. Look at the big picture. Please like, share, and subscribe.